I'm gonna play this clip from Joe Budden, right? And yeah, yeah, we'll do
Well, for
that.
the people that missed it, yesterday evening, somewhere around 6 or 7 o'clock, it was finally confirmed. The news broke that Drake's a bitch. Man, I'm about to come in here and fucking work me. That was easy. Yeah. That's the point. Oh, he went to court. He lost. The same shit that I told y'all 11 months ago.
Fair use.
Rang true yesterday at around 6 o'clock.
Courts were on the side of hip hop, man.
Some tweet was going around that said Drake lost the nigga way and the white way.
Drake calls you tonight, and he could.
I'm not talking to him. Some niggas got bad juju on them. Okay. Don't put me in no conversation where I have to talk to people that I believe have bad juju.
If his juju's
bad.
All right, so again, perspective, right? If you listen to this nigga right here, and shout out to Joe. I mean, I'm just trying to get Joe's flowers for the positive things he has done, but god damn, I'm not saying that someone who has a particular past can't speak on the truth. It's because you aren't the perfect messenger does not mean that the information that you're bringing is not valid. I don't think that for the most that if someone's telling the truth that you should listen to them because they passed, right? But you have to listen to the context of that person or know the context of the situation. If you don't know that Joe wrote 9 diss records about Drake back in the day, niggas forget about the shit because Drake and Joe had a one-sided beef where where Joe basically was saying that, yo, Drake is sending subliminal shots at me. Matter of fact, hold on, man. Let's play that real quick. All right, so fair use. Listen, so we gotta get this shit a little more context, right? So years and years ago, and I'm gonna show you this whole page on basically all these times that I'm sorry, all these posts about Joe Budden posting these diss. Now Joe did about 3 or 4 diss records towards Drake because he felt as though Drake was dissing him subliminally, right? So this is the interview from Hot 97 from years ago around that time. This is let's see, 9 years ago. Sir, go to bed and lay down.
Fuck about the Drake stuff.
I'm talking to you, Levi.
His point was, I don't care what he meant. I don't care about any of it.
But you can't say you don't care when you make 4 records.
I cared when I made 4 records.
Oh, I don't care now.
Today,
you're beyond it today. That's fair enough.
Yeah,
but I think it's worth. I think with all of this,
I think my point was proven. Which I had a point. I would have loved to get to my finale.
Which was?
Oh no, I can't say that.
You gotta wait.
OVO niggas start acting up again.
So you gotta save it. You gotta save the finale in the stash.
Oh yeah, I grew in hip hop.
How would you ruin? Why? Why? What do you mean?
I just know a lot. That's all.
Oh,
I just know.
But here's the thing, Joe. A lot of people say they know a lot about Drake, and it seems like there's so many people waiting for Drake, but no one ever pulls the trigger on this supposed thing they have.
I don't know what a lot of people say, and I didn't say I would ruin Drake. Drake is a superstar, a pop superstar. He has transcended hip hop. There's nothing that anybody in hip hop can do single-handedly to ruin him.
Fact.
That's just a fact.
We talked about that this week.
I mean,
yes,
nobody's oblivious to that.
I know. Well, he knows that. That's the thing that annoys me about Drake.
Now, mind you, we're not in this season, so they're having an honest conversation about what position that this guy has in the game, right? And you got to think about like what it means for people who are kind of get ops to even say that they still love you and they're still fans of you and this and that. But this is really a hate session. This is really we can't get to this nigga. But I'm playing this because we need to look at the context of Joe's relationship with Drake. Okay, and we're gonna take it to X in a little bit, but I wanted to play this because I want you guys to get an idea of the history. All right. Also, I'm not gonna click on this and whatnot, but I'm gonna just show you guys all these posts. Matter of fact, hold on, let's do this. Joe Budden dissing Drake on songs. Okay, no, that's not it. Joe Budden dissing Drake on songs. Oh, whatever, bro. Oh, fuck it. Anyway, I just put it in myself. Joe Budden dissing. That's so you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about. All right, boom. So, all right, you see my page right here. So you see one, two. I think it's 3 or 4 tracks, right? So this is one disc, Making a Murderer Part One, Wake, all this shit, right? Which we're not going to play here just because. So I think it's about 4. So Joe put out. It might have been more than that, honestly. But the reason why Joe did those diss tracks, he didn't do those diss tracks for hip hop. He did those diss tracks for the same reason why media is always talking about this nigga. He did it for the reason why Kendrick has been able in plain sight just be a fucking hater. Gotta realize that, yo, when someone's encouraged, when you admire a hater and listen to a hater, their hater ways and opinions rub off on you. Pause. I saw a Rolling Stone article that says Kendrick Lamar is encouraging you to embrace your inner hater. When in the history of we came up with the word hater to do regulation on nigga behavior, which is to keep niggas in check. We had to put in labels on things, keeps people in check because people don't want a negative label. It's like women women still don't like being called hoes, but we have the word hoe just so you know. All right, this is how you should not be I'm sorry. We have the word hoe just so we know how you should not be acting. We have the term bitch ass nigga just so you know how you should not be acting. It's to regulate human behavior. Okay, so we need these labels. They're super important. So the word hater is to make sure that not too much negative energy is circulating around society. If that's that's not a good phrase. I'm sorry, that was nasty. But the point being is, yo, you can't have a whole nation, a whole group of men who feel as though I shouldn't work for it, who feel as though they should be given to me. All right, who feel as though you should want to see me win. Oh, no, I'm not going to say that. You should be more invested in my win than me. You should be advocating for me. You owe me advocacy. No. But we got to go ahead and give some context to what Joe was saying, okay? Because listen, this is the same dude, okay? So I want to get back to when they said, shout out to this person on Twitter. So somebody wrote, Drake lost the battle the black way and the white way, right? So let's not forget the whole context of what's going on here. Drake was not suing Kendrick Lamar about a diss song. Just so we can level set real quick. This suit is about your label working to devalue your brand by trying to ruin your image by having another artist who of a high stature go at you and basically it was never about a rap battle for UMG. This case was this whole thing was about, all right, we're gonna have Kendrick do a record. Now he took about 10 tries, right? But we're gonna have Kendrick do a record. Once he had Not Like Us, he knew, all right, boom, this is catchy enough to where we can work this, okay? And that's when they kind of struck gold because again, it's a catchy enough record to where it doesn't stand out of why you're playing this everywhere. How does it not strike you as crazy that this song they made sure? Now, mind you, I can't even say PDF file online. I can't listen. Once my channel gets bigger, I can't even curse too much no more. If you're a bigger channel, you cannot say certain words or your video will be demonetized. You cannot talk about certain shit or your video will be demonetized. A song about basically sleeping with kids and touching kids. They made sure that song was played at the Super Bowl. He got Grammys for it. He got Grammys for accusing another man of messing with kids with no proof. And then you all try to say that this is battle rap. No, it's not. I played a video yesterday. In battle rap, niggas do not accuse you of heinous crimes without paperwork. Or else it's not legit or you just talking. All right? Matter of fact, before we go any further, I want to play this clip I saw earlier. Where is it? Where it is. And this guy did a really great breakdown on this. So we're going to listen to him real quick.
Against UMG was dismissed.
Hold on.
Judge Jeanette A. Vargas had
I just want to make sure that I'm on the right drawing.
Actionable opinion, and that no reasonable listener would believe its facts. Now, I may agree that no reasonable listener should believe its facts because it's obviously bullshit. If you've been online in the past year, you'll know that it's very true that people think not like us is facts. It's interesting to
I'm bringing
look
this
at
back.
this ruling because it was ruled by the judge before trial. So as you probably heard by now, Drake's lawsuit against UMG was dismissed. Judge Jeanette A. Vargas had stated it is non-actionable opinion. A reasonable listener would believe it's facts. Now, I may agree that no reasonable listener should believe it's facts because it's obviously bullshit. If you've been online in the past year, you'll know that it's very true that people think not like us is facts. It's interesting to look at this ruling because it was ruled by the judge before trial. Drake never got an opportunity to show the evidence to the court, to argue any.
That is extremely important. The case was dismissed before he could show his evidence of what he's claiming. You gotta think about what that means and how shady that shit looks. All right. Matter of fact, you know what? Before we go there, right? So again, this whole thing is about people celebrating Drake losing a lawsuit or seemingly losing a lawsuit, and they try to celebrate it under the guise of you're a sore loser, you don't know when to quit, you can't accept that things didn't work out the way you wanted to. And again, we gotta think about what that means for people to see something unfair happen to someone, but because you don't like them or because you listen to people who don't like this person, you think it's okay for actual crimes. They've committed a crime against this guy. Again, they use one artist to devalue another artist's brand. It wasn't about bars. No one talks about the bars in the record more than they talk about the catchiest parts. Is basically is the A minor. When you talk about the A minor bar, that's in reference to S.A. and the Child, and somehow A minor became a joke that people repeat. At the end of the day, they're associating A minor with Drake. How can you not say that people do not see? How can I say? How can you say that people don't know that this is not real? Listen, if I do a video about Drake and you look at my comment section, people very much have bought into the whole idea that no, this actually went on, this actually happened, and you know, and that's the reason why he lost. No proof, no nothing. And this whole y'all niggas do not watch battle rap. You do not know who Rum Nitty is. You don't know who Jazz the Rapper is. You can't tell me no Hollow the Don bars. You can't tell me no Charlie Clips bars. Okay, you don't know Terror Rock's best battle. You can't say no Loaded Lux round from front to back with Loaded Lux. So what the fuck you talking about? Like, since when the fuck do y'all know about battle rap? Because to the point where you have the fam. If you think that UMG, who's worth billions, matter of fact, hey Google, how much is UMG worth as a company?
As of October 2025, Universal Music Group has a market capitalization ranging from approximately $44 billion to over $49 billion, with different sources providing varying figures.
All right, so before we go any further, right? So I want to get into this. This is supposed to be. This is really for all artists, all right? Like old boy said, it's setting a dangerous precedent. Okay, because what it means is that your label could basically put together a scheme to bring the value of your brand down, and it's perfectly legal. And this has precedent to say basically, oh, it's not an actionable opinion. No one actually believes the record. Okay, but I'm going to go ahead. I want to give you guys the context of who people are actually defending. Because people are trying to make it seem as though they're defending hip-hop and hip-hop. I don't give a fuck about hip-hop. This is what I mean by the leftist liberal mindset. Most people who are heavy in the hip-hop or in the hip-hop scene, they identify as leftists and they have leftist agendas and ideologies, shit like that, right? And a part of liberal behavior is making yourself seem as though you're always on the side of righteousness and assuming the moral high ground. You assume the moral high ground. You're not actually doing the right thing. You assume you're doing the right thing, which is also super dangerous because it means that there's no self-correction here. It means that in your mind, you don't have to make any improvements. Yo, that's just dangerous, bro. But Angry Man made a good point about this whole thing, which is that you've never seen black folks argue in favor of, argue in support. So Drake has become so big that you niggas are arguing in favor of an industry that mostly has exploited and for the most part raped African American artists for the longest time and been doing whatever they want. You know how many talented people died broke? How many artists who were big in the industry who sold records died broke? Or they went broke after a few years, or let's not forget TLC. Now TLC, they wasn't writers, and I get that they wasn't really entitled to a whole bunch, but this was an act that sold 10 million records and they were broke. That's how the industry is set up. So let me go ahead and play the shit with Nori real quick.
Ain't no picture in hip hop. Do you have a 401k? You want me to explain to you what hip hop is? That's what I'm. All right, let me explain to you what hip hop is. The worst loan you can ever make. When you sign to a major label, that money that they give you, let's say they give you $800 grand, right? That's a loan. You have to pay back that loan with interest. So if you don't make back that $800 grand, what they do is they put you in the red, but you can still be hot, and you didn't make back that $800 grand. So you can still be hot. So they'll give you another album, and they'll give you instead of $800 grand, they'll give you 1.2 this time, right? So now, but you're still in the hole for that 800. You understand? But now you got another 1.2, and if you don't make that, then you're just in the red for both. And this is a loan with interest that you don't get nothing out of. Hip hop is not meant for the artist to win. It's never been meant for the artist to win. And the more and more you learn, the more and more you read your contracts, the more and more it's.
He hit it right in the head. Let's play it again.
0.2, and if you don't make that, then you're just in the red for both, and this is a loan with interest that you don't get nothing out of. Hip hop is not meant for the artist to win. It's never been meant.
Hip hop is not meant for the artist to win. This has been going on so long, right? That we're in a spot where you got another rapper. You got Joe Budden, and who was an artist for the longest time, who has always advocated for fair treatment, better deals, understanding your contracts, monetizing on the highest level for your artist in your favor. And basically, he's always been pro-artist. But somehow, in this situation right here, again, hate. If you never been that nigga, you cannot understand why someone would move this way because you don't relate to them. Like my other guy was saying, if you relate to it, you can celebrate someone taking what you think is an L or a bad thing happening to them or that's an injustice. All right, so we're gonna play one more. Shout out to the God Prince, rest in peace. All right, he breaks down what actually goes on in the industry in terms of the splits, in terms of what's fair and what's not fair. So he's breaking down, seemingly Mariah Carey's record deal.
Tell me why. I mean, what am I missing?
Okay, let's do some math.
Okay.
If
do math like that?
kind of, if you send me to a record company
Right.
or a record deal, let's suppose you have a record company.
Right.
How much would you give me? The album sells for $18, right? $18.
Whatever. Yeah.
All right. How much of that would you give me?
Well, I don't know how it works.
Well, no.
Half?
Half? Half sound good?
Yeah.
All right. Check this out. If I sell 1 million copies, I'm gonna have $10 million, right? Roughly $10 million.
Right.
If I sell 2 million copies, I got $20 million.
Right.
If I just sell 3 million copies, I got $30 million. Now who has the biggest record deal?
Oh, I see. Yeah, right. Okay.
Right?
Right.
So Mariah kind of got screwed.
Tell me why. I mean, what am I missing?
Okay, let's do some math.
Okay.
If
So what he's speaking to is that the artist does not get a fair share, or even the artist can create the product from front to back. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that the label doesn't deserve to get any action or nothing like that. I'm not saying at all. I understand businesses. I understand that there's splits and whatnot. But the artist doesn't get anywhere near. If their artist is on a major label, it's understood that the artist is not going to get anywhere near 50%. All right. Hold on, y'all. I'm going to play that video from my from my bookmarks real quick because the sound on here is not great. So we're going to go back to that clip. I will put it up here, but I'm going to play the sound from here. Okay. Hold on, y'all. Make sure that, let's see where we at with the. All right, cool. So make sure I'm on there. Where it is.
Now, Drake's lawsuit against UMG was dismissed. Judge Jeanette A. Vargas had stated it is non-actionable opinion and that no reasonable listener would believe its facts. Now, I may agree that no reasonable listener should believe its facts because it's obviously bullshit. If you've been online in the past year, you'll know that it's very true that people think not like us is facts. It's interesting to look at this ruling because it was ruled by the judge before trial. Drake never got an opportunity to show the evidence to the court, to argue any of the points. It was ruled by the judge before it got to that point. Now, what's brutal about this is it's a terrible precedent. And I know, like, during this whole lawsuit, a lot of people are like, oh, Drake's setting a bad precedent because now rap battles will be done with. No one will be able to talk shit to each other anymore, which is a fucking ridiculous concept. But the fact that people made such a big deal out of that, and now a lot of those same people are online going, ha, Drake's an idiot. Look at this guy taking another L. Oh, WUMG, or whatever the fuck they're saying, is crazy. And it's crazy for a lot of reasons. And I want to use the situation and propose a hypothetical. I'm not going to get into a big breakdown. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not going to get into the details.
So before he goes to that, right? So I want to speak to that point when he made basically with the whole it's for hip hop. You don't give a fuck about hip hop, all right? And again, like I said before, a part of that leftist nigga is always pretending to care, always pretending to be on the side of right, always pretending to be self-righteous rather than being actually self-righteous, right? Because if you were self-righteous, there's a lot of other things in society that you wouldn't really stand for, especially the men, and especially the men on that podcast, all right? All the men on the podcast, for the most part, don't really have, I'm not saying they